we have to, of course, our taping deadline just today was released. The holy grail of wrestling video footage that everybody's been talking about, that we've had to answer questions about here and on the drive-through, and that people have written, and it's been such a topic of conversation amongst everybody. The lost last Battle of Atlanta footage between Tommy Rich and Buzz Sawyer. Did it exist? Didn't it? Nobody ever knew for sure. What happened to it? Speculation had run rampant. It was being blown up like the Zapruder film, right? And all of a sudden, the WWE announces they're going to put it on the network. They're going to release it. They've got it. And now everybody's gone crazy, and it has just been released just moments, literally moments, before we have recording today's program. So next week, we're going to give our thoughts on, after we've watched it, on the actual footage itself. But the rumors, Brian, are already lying about this fucking thing. And for one thing, and with all due respect to Buzz and Tommy, I don't know how this got to be built up otherwise than it was never shown. It was a 2-year angle they did in Georgia, and then this was the last match they'd ever have after this long, bloody, brutal program. Yes, I understand that. And it was never even clips were never shown on TV, because in those days you had to go and buy a ticket or you fucking missed out, motherfucker. Too bad. Shame. Should have been there. That's the way we make our money. But they didn't, and people have made a big deal of this, like almost to the point where it's gotten to be a conspiracy theory, right? Where somebody has this locked back. So I've heard 2 rumors before we've even seen this fucking match, and it may very well be, it was a house show match. I'm sure it was good. It could be classic. At this point, people will probably be let down just because they expected somehow axe murder or something. I don't know. But listen to the 2 rumors I've heard. Number one, and they've said that, I think they said, well, Michael Hayes mentioned that this was the precursor to and the inspiration for the Hell in a Cell match, because the cage had a roof on it. No, it wasn't. The cage, Hell in a Cell having a roof on it was inspired by the fucking War Games. And the size of the cage itself, which is different than the last Battle of Atlanta, which it encompasses the entire ringside area, was inspired by the Memphis cage, where Tommy Rich was able to come out from under the ring and still be inside the cage. And I know because we were there. And Michael Hayes was at the studio, shooting promos for event centers when we were thinking that shit up. So no, it wasn't. But also, listen to this. The big one I saw, I clicked it on, when you get on the internet and you have all the headlines pop up, your Yahoo or whatever the fucking kids call it, right? Headline was rumor of this, and I clicked on it, and somebody actually said that Paul Ellering had a tape of this Holy Grail match all along and had used that as leverage to get a job for himself and his daughter with the fuck. And I said, I would have just loved to have been there and seen Vince McMahon's face when somebody, once again, with all due respect to Buzz and Tommy, but knowing Vince McMahon, when somebody walked up and said, hey, Vince, Paul Ellering has a tape of a match between 2 guys that never worked for you from the Omni from over 30 years ago that a bunch of fans want to see on the internet. And if you give him and his daughter a job, he'll hand it to you. I could see Vince McMahon's fucking face. But I would assume that they probably, just to close that thought, probably got it in the Georgia wrestling tape collection, and somebody just thought to look, because you can't imagine how low on the priority list any match of any Georgia Championship Wrestling program from the Omni in 1983 is, really, on in most of their, just the fact that if they've had it this long and they just figured out that it was something that somebody actually wanted to fucking see, indicates how low the priority is there.